Hey everybody, I got to sit down with Pastor Mike and ask him a whole bunch of different questions, and we're going to be releasing those every day this week, and I can't wait for you to see them. Check it out. So we're fresh off of Easter, and I'm just curious, for you and for others, what did Easter mean to you this year, being that it's so different? And then also, what do you hope that Easter meant to somebody who tuned in maybe for the first time, or maybe they're tuned in because they weren't able to attend a service?
So how many questions was that again?
That was like 4. But
okay, what did Easter mean to me? Was that the first one?
Yeah.
All right. It was weird for me. It was weird. I love Easter. It's my favorite day of the year. I wish we could have fireworks and crazy animals and popcorn. Easter it should be this giant party is how I see Easter, because it should be the happiest day of the year for a Christian person. So to be alone at home and watching our service online, not the same. I missed everyone so much. I don't look as good on TV as I think I do in my head. Like, to watch your own sermon on TV on Sunday morning of Easter, that was a bit, I think I'm better looking than that. I don't know, we need better camera people, lighting, something.
What is it?
What?
The camera adds 20 pounds?
I think I'm taller, thinner, smarter looking. I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff that it didn't show up on camera. So that was difficult. So those are my first thoughts. What else was it?
What did it mean to other people? Like, what do you hope it meant for them?
I hope that people that already come to RCC were like, this was awesome. Like, it's not the same as being together, but short of being together, this is as good as it could have been. Mm-hmm. The staff worked super hard with the cave and the music and everything. I hope people at home were able to celebrate Easter their own way in their own house, whether it's pajamas or dressed up, eating, not eating, whatever they did. I just hope that they had a really nice Easter experience, the best we could offer right now. Mm-hmm. That's what I hope for them.
Awesome. All right, so my second question is this. If you had to, since we're all kind of quarantining and like safer at home or whatever, if you had to quarantine with someone, it couldn't be your wife or your kids or any of the staff members, who would you quarantine with?
A comedian, I really like Ellen. I think I'd laugh a lot if I was with Ellen. Jerry Seinfeld could be fun. Some comedian, or maybe a magician, because if you're around enough, like, you'd maybe learn their tricks. I don't know. So, right. I don't know. Probably have a better answer, but that's my first answer.
That's a great answer.
All right. So, you think if Ellen sees this, she'll call me?
She might. It'd be awesome. How could we make that happen?
She's super smart and funny. Just about nothing. She'd be great.
It'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, I agree. All right, another question for you. With all these dramatic shifts in society, a lot of things that people counted as normalcy and predictability, things that they counted on for meaning and purpose and happiness, they've all shifted in some dramatic ways. And that's been hard, but there have also been some positives. Yeah. So what positives have you seen, and what roles do you think faith can play in those positives?
Well, since you're not really able to hang out with anybody, I don't know that I've seen a lot of positives that I can speak intelligently about, but from the little bit that I know, I think people are doing things with their loved ones or their close friends that maybe they didn't before, and I think some of that's going to carry on. Mm-hmm. Like maybe there's some new game your family's been playing or whatever, or making puzzles or whatever it is, and like some of the good, even when we're done with all this, some of the good will stay, and they'll realize, oh, it is fun to play cards with friends, or it is fun to make a puzzle with the kids or whatever. I think some good fun things will happen. You see people walking their dogs and walking together all over the place. Yeah. I don't think they're going to stop enjoying that. So some really good things will continue. And then from the faith component, I think there's a bit of a reminder of what really is important. I mean, I'm sure we're all dying to get out and do stuff, but what's really the most important you still have. Yeah. Your loved ones and your health and all that stuff. So I think that's just a nice reminder.
It's really remarkable how you can dial it all back, and you still have things that are meaningful and good, and you're reminded of those things. I think that's cool. We've been going on walks a bunch, and the boys will bike ride and I'll run. And it's like, oh, we can do both at once, and that's a new thing for us. So there's been some fun things like that. That said, for you and Janet, what are you guys doing as you maybe can't go anywhere as much, but what are you guys doing to stay sane?
It's been a little crazy. Work-wise, I'm not really working less. We're still having to do so much here. So, my work week's basically the same. For her, though, teaching from home and not seeing anyone all day, she's used to be around other teachers and students and stuff. She's wired up pretty much by the time I get home, and I'm sure that's the same in a lot of families. So it's just more time to talk and sort of unwind together and understand each other's days a little bit more than there used to be right now, I guess, to try to stay sane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So, you actually enjoy conversation with each other and, do that a bit more, maybe.
Yeah.
That's neat. For us, I'm not sure we are staying sane. Like with 3 kids at home, and both of us are working full time, and that's it. It's been nuts. So we're surviving, and hopefully we'll be sane at the end.
Yeah, it'd be way different with 3 little kids in the house, I know. So
For sure.
We've got it easy.
Another question for you. How do you think that we're doing as a church, as a staff, as a community? And then how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I don't know. It's a challenge, but that's why it's called the job. I mean, you get paid to deal with challenges. So it has been challenging and a new challenge. So that's sort of exciting to try to solve a new, really difficult challenge and do it well. As a staff, the staff's been amazing. Like I wish the church could see. Like every single staff member came to me and said, "Listen, I'll keep working without pay if you need me to." So that just reveals people's character and makes me feel really good about who I hired. And then the church overall has been amazing. Like way more positive, like little notes or emails or whatever, just people saying thank you or just making really nice comments. So that's been cool. People just super supportive and always, money, financially, people are struggling at home and losing jobs and stuff and still trying to support the church. And that's been a huge encouragement for me, just to know how much people care, because you kind of show what you care by what you pay for it. To give money, you show you care. So that's been really neat. We're not going under because of it financially. So it's been really good that way.
That's really, really neat. It's been fun to watch as well. And as I've thought about it, I've loved how much it's opened up people's expectations for like how people even serve and like participate. So having it be so online, like I've seen people share things more than I've ever seen them share in the past. Yeah. And so it's just been really neat to see how people choose what they care about now in a different way than I think they have in the past. So it's been really cool.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people right now are dealing with fear. Mm-hmm. They're afraid of what's going to happen, and they're not sure what to expect, and just there's a lot of fear and anxiety that's going around, just with the circumstances, not knowing what to expect, not knowing what's going on. How do you deal with fear?
This will probably sound like a churchy answer, and I don't mean it to, but if you have faith, fear is different, right? Like I'm not looking forward to struggling with things or being sick, or you don't look forward to the tragedies of life. I think I wish I didn't have tragedy in my life just like everybody else, whether they have faith or not. No one wants tragedy, and no one aspires to deal with it. But as far as fear, I'm not really fearful of this. I'm I guess worried about the sadness that could come, right? Like if someone you care for is sick, or people in nursing homes that have no contact with others, I feel sad for them. So I have sadness. But I don't really have fear. I trust that I'm okay with God. I trust He's got me. And yeah, there's some junk I don't want to deal with. But bottom line is I still feel good about my relationship with Him. So I'm not really fearful.
It's a really interesting answer. I think it's really good. And I think as I think about it in terms of our church and our family, and I think we've both talked about this, and the reasons that you chose to not have services right away, I think it's out of responsibility, not necessarily fear, but I think I feel more fear for others than I do for myself, and like there's an anxiety for me for that more so than it is for my own well-being. Yeah. And so I think it's interesting. Like we're all right. Like I feel good about my relationship with God. I care about other people and how they're going to deal with it, and I hope this is an opportunity for them to like experience that kind of relief. As well. So. Yeah,
it's different leading. Like, you're right, we cancel, we're like the first anywhere to cancel anything, but we're responsible to care for a lot of people. Yeah. So we have to be super cautious in how we do things, because we won't want everyone to do anything to hurt someone. And not even just physically, emotionally, in any way. It's like, it shouldn't be the role of the church to hurt people, it should be the role of the church to help people. So by canceling early, I think we did our best to care for our people. Yeah. And you just deal with the ramifications of that.
I agree. So some people may have, for the very first time, turned their lives over to Jesus. Maybe they tuned into the service for the first time, and so they said, hey, I want to follow Jesus. Mm-hmm. We know some people did.
Yep.
And that's just really exciting.
Yep.
And so they're asking Jesus to lead their lives right now. And so I want to ask you, what's the best advice you can give to these people that are just beginning this journey of following Jesus?
I don't know that this is the best advice, but it's the first thing to come to mind. A lot of times people will trust in God or trust in Jesus in times of struggle. Like everyone believes in God or Jesus when they're sick in the hospital, you know, and you turn to them when you're scared or worried. And God or Jesus, they're there for us when we're worried and want us to turn to them. God sees himself as our Father. So it's a beautiful fatherly role that God cares for you when you're scared or hurting or whatever. I just don't want people to forget about him when things are better. You know, if you've turned your life over right now and said, you know what, I want to be closer to God. I want to kind of figure out what that looks like for me, because everyone's relationship is different, which is cool. But when it's all better and you can get back out and hang out with your friends and do all your fun stuff, I think it'd be hugely disrespectful to God to blow him off then.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, you were there when I needed you, now I don't. So, hey, you know, I'm good. I just hope people stay connected in good times and in bad. Their own way, whatever it is for each individual person.
Yeah, I think that's incredibly good advice. And it's hard to hold on to, but it's so true. So in this time, like you have time, like take the time to understand what this means for you, and then put something in place where you're actually following through on it. Like show up to a service and do that. Like do something where this isn't just a one-time decision, but it's something that guides your life. So the next time life takes a crazy turn, because it's going to.
Right.
Then it's not reaching for it; it's already there.
And even outside of the church world, like even just like. Come to a service, that's awesome. But like, I think there's more kindness going around right now. I think there's more understanding for people that are different. I think there's more compassion. I think there's more patriotism. All those things, because of this, have grown. And I think not in just Ripon, but in the United States. Keep that up. Keep caring about people that someone else isn't caring for. Yeah. That would be a huge way to honor God and be able to respect yourself as well.
I agree. So last week, Pastor Aaron had a Monday, Thursday devotional, and he says he hates feet. What do you think about feet?
That was my favorite part of the devotional. You're making me laugh because I was watching this, and he's like, and I hate feet.
And he does.
That was awesome. So the question is, what do I think of feet?
What do you think of feet?
I'm not like super big on feet. I don't think I hate them, but like if someone called me like, hey, you can be a podiatrist next week instead, I don't think I'd want to do that either.
That's
like,
fair.
I don't know. Not like into them.
All right. Good answer.
Yeah.
I actually only have one more question.
Okay.
My last question for you in all of this is, after all of this is said and done, the people of our community are going to come out of this whole situation changed a little bit, maybe a lot. What types of changes do you hope to see in our community going forward?
Well, I kind of referenced it a couple of questions ago, just so much more care for others. Like everyone seems so concerned now about people being healthy or elderly people having someone to care for them or children having food. These are all really, really positive things. So if those things continue, care for our seniors, like the school district's putting out this thing online, like highlighting different seniors and stuff. There's so much more care for people. Whatever it is that each person cares for the most, whether it's kids or seniors or whatever, hungry people, whatever it may be, that they would just continue to do that. It would make our community better, it'd make our state better, it'd make the nation better. If those things that have been tweaked right now continue to be tweaked, we don't forget about them when we go back to the golf courses and movies and junk.
Yeah, I think there's an element to community that has to do with where you actually care about the people you spend time with and you live in the same town with and go to the same schools as. I just want to thank you for taking this time.
You're welcome.
This is really fun. And
it was fun, yeah.
I appreciate it.
All right.